It's pretty clear and obvious to most people that not only is Donald Trump suffering from very serious mental illnesses, both neurological and psychological, but also that most of his supporters are in fact a cult. They exhibit this cult-like mentality. In fact, if you look through the traits of somebody who's in a cult, it's going to match up perfectly with some of the most die-hard people out there. We saw his cult storm the Capitol because they all had a collective psychosis that he secretly won the election, and these incompetent Democrats somehow stole it from the competent man. So there is a collective mental illness within the Trump movement. But Republicans in Congress, who also clearly suffer from this delusion, have put forth legislation called the Trump Derangement Syndrome Research Act, which would almost effectively classify hating Donald Trump as a mental illness. This legislation was put forth by Republican Representatives Warren Davidson of Ohio and Barry Moore of Alabama, and it is called the Trump Derangement Syndrome Research Act. Now, I'm going to read you what this bill would do, which may go as far as including rounding up people who dislike Trump and sticking them in mental institutions, by the way. But let me tell you something, Trump derangement syndrome is real, but nobody on the left suffers from it. The Trump derangement syndrome is being experienced by the people who think this man is a brilliant leader who would literally lay down their life for him, not because he's the president, but because he's Donald Trump. That is derangement. The people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th, 2021, that was Trump derangement syndrome. People who criticize this man. People who point out his flaws and his lies. That's not derangement. That's journalism. Well, you're going to go back in time and tell us that Edward Murrow had McCarthy derangement syndrome. No. He did his work, revealed all the ugly truths about this guy. That wasn't a derangement syndrome. It's actually what journalism used to be. Here is what this legislation would do. The Trump Derangement Syndrome Research Act addresses a critical issue. The instinctual negative, often violent reaction to any supportive statement, or even related to President Trump, by leveraging NIH's existing programs at the National Institute of Mental Health. So yes, basically, they're classifying, disliking this guy, or fact-checking him as a mental illness. They continue, it will investigate Trump derangement syndrome's origins and contributing factors, including the media's role in amplifying the spread of Trump derangement syndrome, analyze its long-term impacts on individuals, communities, and public discourse. Explore interventions to mitigate extreme behaviors, informing strategies for a healthier public square. Interventions, by the way, means rounding us up. That's what that means. Provide data-driven insights into how media and polarization shape political violence and social unrest. Require an annual report to Congress, and it's no additional spending. It uses existing NIH resources and avoids new spending. So basically, you're like, we'll take money away from real medical research and put it towards this fake thing that we created. Ever since George W. Bush, the blank derangement syndrome has existed. This is not a new thing with Trump. This is not a new talking point from Republicans during the Bush years. And I know because I was in progressive media at the time, all of these conservative bloggers who were big at the time, they always called our attacks on George W. Bush. Bush derangement syndrome. BDS, you guys are suffering from BDS. So that's where it came from. It didn't start with Trump. And it won't end with Trump. During the Obama years, the left lobbed that back at Republicans and said, you guys are suffering from Obama derangement syndrome. And then with Trump, it was TDS. With Biden, we've said, you guys are suffering from Biden derangement syndrome. Now it's back to TDS. So for them to even pretend like, no, this is a new phenomenon with Donald Trump, it's not even a new talking point. You guys actually just stole it from the Bush administration. So you're not even coming up with original ideas here, idiots. But it does anger me because they are gaslighting us, making the country think that we are the crazy ones. But the cult members are the normal ones, the ones who storm the Capitol. They're the totally mentally well. People, those of us who bother to fact-check Donald Trump or call him out clearly, we're doing that because we're mentally ill. Right? That's what they want you to believe. And that's what this bill would effectively declare. Thanks for watching today. Everybody, and don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out,